So, there was a time when I was young that I had fun doing that kind of thing, but I don't think I ever really saw it as something that I was going to do professionally. It always just sort of seemed like a hobby type of thing. Um, and I think I also felt like I wanted to work somewhere where I felt like I was making a positive difference in the world. And the company I'm working at now, I feel really good about the type of work that they're doing. And that feels great too, that I can still like be a positive contribution to society in some way while also doing something that's like a little less high stakes and, is,
Yeah.
um, just a different type of job. But yeah.
The the journey, well, I'll take a step back here. The identity of being one thing over another is such an interesting concept for me to think about. For me, I feel like I have had this core identity that's always stayed with me since I was a kid. And then I have this professional identity that comes along with where I work and what I do professionally. And I know, thinking of like dentists or doctors or teachers, that they are often very tightly connected to that identity, that professional identity. And as a result, it can tend to define their personal identity too, or they can go both directions. And it sounds to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you didn't personally identify with your profession, that your profession was sort of a means to an end. So I'm curious, if that's true for you, then how do you define your personal identity? What are you at your core, and how is that playing a role in this career change that you've been going through?
Yeah, that's an interesting way to think about it. I mean, I think that there probably was a time earlier in my previous career where I was really excited about it and I was, I was climbing the ladder and I went from working directly with the kids to being a supervisor and, got this um certification and everything like that. And then yeah, I think it just kind of the enjoyment of that job slowly started going away and I felt less of that like this is who I am is like me the behavior I worked in that field for so long and I still always want to say analyst instead of analyst.
Analysist. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think that the like one of my core things that kind of has carried over between both is that I just love solving problems and like finding that like little aha moment or being the person that people come to when they're like I've got this like little problem that I can't figure out. And so that's something that like I absolutely love all kinds of, puzzles and things like that is kind of what I do in my free time. I actually do competitive jigsaw puzzling and I like do the New York Times crossword every day. And I'm just like a very like, let me figure out this puzzle type of person. So I think that, when I think about myself, being able to apply some of these skills that are like really satisfying and fulfilling to me, but just in a different way. And instead of like trying to solve people, I'm like trying to solve coding things. Um, I still get to retain some of the things that like I really enjoy. And I would say that I think it's been an interesting transition because I used to talk about work a lot more because it's just like things that people could relate to more where I'd be like, oh my gosh, there was this kid that like made a giant pyramid out of chairs and tables at school and he was standing on top of them naked and yelling at everybody and it was crazy. Like that's the kind of story that after a hard day at work you can like talk about it. And when I'm like, I had this error message that I just couldn't make